good morning to you out there. This is African Free Press Television, where we report Africa from a refreshing perspective and guess you had a fabulous weekend. My name is Leah Oketa.
And I am Bridget Okudili.
And these are the stories we're tracking for you at this moment. President Muhammadu Buhari will on Monday travel to Malabo for talks with President Obiang Nguema Mbasogo of Equatorial Guinea on further measures to protect the people and resources of the Niger Delta and the Gulf of Guinea. At the conclusion and signing of an agreement by Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea for the establishment of a combined maritime policing and security patrol committee on Tuesday is expected to be the major outcome of President Buhari's meeting with his host. In a statement by the Senior Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, both leaders are expected to discuss and agree on other collaborative measures to combat crimes such as piracy, crude oil thefts, attacks on oil rigs, arms smuggling, and human trafficking in the Gulf of Guinea. In accordance with the main focus and agenda of the trip, President Buhari will be accompanied by the Minister of Defense, retired Brigadier General Mansour Dan Ali, the National Security Advisor, retired Major General Babagana Monguno, and other senior security officials. The President is expected to return to Abuja on Tuesday.
And meanwhile, the APC candidate in the Benue South senatorial rerun election, Mr. Daniel Onje, has filed another petition against the return of Senator David Mark as winner of the repeated poll. The candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC made the disclosure on Sunday to reporters shortly after filing his petition at a magistrate court. Mr. Onje said that he is seeking outright declaration in his favor, as documents obtained from INEC indicated that he won in most of the polling units where at least 29,000 votes were cancelled. In his reaction, spokesperson for the former Senate President Adekola Elijah said that his legal team is waiting to be served copies of the petition. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had declared Senator David Mark winner of the Benue South senatorial rerun election. Senator Mark, who is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, polled a total of 84,192 votes to beat Daniel Onje of the APC with 71,621 votes. While declaring the results, the returning officer of the Electoral Board, Mr. Ishak Eneji, said that Senator Mark met all the requirements during the conduct of the poll, having polled majority of the total vote cast.
The president of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, on Sunday said that a breakdown of the National Assembly's budget would for the first time be made public next week. This was contained in a statement signed by Mohammed Issa, Special Assistant on Public Affairs to Saraki. Saraki made the disclosure while speaking with a team of editors of the London-based newspaper The Economist. Saraki said that publication of details of the budget was in line with the anti-corruption stance of the 8th National Assembly, promising that the legislature would not cover any form of corruption. He also said that the budget of the Senate, which had never been made public, would be published in line with the anti-corruption stance of the Senate.
And meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has directed the AIG in charge of Zone 6 Calabar, Mr. Adisa Bolanta, and 3 commissioners of police to relocate to Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, on Monday for pre-elections preparations ahead of the rerun election in Rivers State. A statement issued from Mr. Arase's office says the deployment is to ensure a conducive environment for free, fair, and credible election. The statement adds that 6,000 conventional policemen and 14 units of police mobile force personnel (MOPOL) would be deployed to complement the personnel of Rivers State Command during the election. The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Department of Operations, Mr. Sontoye Wakama, has also been directed to proceed to Rivers State immediately to hold meetings with stakeholders and police officers in the State Command on the need for peaceful conduct before, during, and after the election. The IGP, while assuring the electorate of a secure and enabling environment to exercise their franchise, warned all security details to desist from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling units and collation centers during the election. He emphasizes that only security personnel specially assigned for election duties must be seen within and around the election designated places.
And the former Nigerian Minister for Petroleum and Resources, Mrs. Diziani Alisini Madueke, has strongly stated that all transactions made during her tenure went through due process, as against insinuations that she looted $20 billion. She made this known in London during an interview session with the CEO of Ovation magazine, Mr. Dele Momodu. Mrs. Madueke explained that virtually all transactions in respect of which allegations of corruption are being leveled against her went through due process, and that the group managing director of NNPC was actively involved in ensuring that the best international practices were maintained. She added that her involvement in the conclusion of these transactions was limited and that some of the contracts had been executed before she became the Minister of Petroleum Resources.
And on the foreign scene, Al-Qaeda's North Africa branch claimed responsibility after 6 gunmen opened fire on civilians at an Ivory Coast beach resort, killing at least 16 people. Bloody bodies were sprawled on the beach, and witnesses described horrific scenes as a lazy Sunday afternoon was shattered by West Africa's latest attack. 14 civilians and 2 special forces soldiers were killed before the 6 assailants were gunned down in the resort of Grand Bassam. Sunday's attack targeted 3 hotels in the southeastern town, located about 40 kilometers east of the country's economic capital, Abidjan. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara arrived in Grand Bassam a few hours after the shooting rampage. The president condoled with families that lost loved ones and praised their security operatives for weighing in timely.
And meanwhile, still on the foreign scene, Turkish officials say at least 34 people have been killed and 125 more wounded after a car bomb struck the Turkish capital, Ankara. A bomb-laden car exploded on Sunday evening in the centrally located Kizilay neighborhood, near a major transport hub. Witnesses say the blast set vehicles on fire and heavily damaged several buses. Police cordoned off the area shortly after the explosion. The explosion, which could be heard several kilometers away, also sent burning debris showering down over an area a few hundred meters from the Justice and Interior Ministries, a top courthouse, and the former office of the Prime Minister.
And in sports, holders Arsenal were dumped out of the FA Cup by Watford on Sunday, while Anthony Martial's 83rd minute goal earned ailing Manchester United a 1-1 draw with West Ham United. Goals by Odion Igalo and Adel Guardiola ended Arsenal's 2-year reign as FA Cup holders, as Watford won 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium to join Crystal Palace and Everton in Monday's semi-final draw. Manchester United looked set to follow Arsenal out of the competition after Dimitri Payet put West Ham ahead with a stunning free kick at Old Trafford, but French forward Martial spared manager Louis van Gaal from another wave of unflattering headlines with a late volleyed equaliser.
It was very an interesting weekend, so to say. And these are the stories we're tracking for you coming from African Free Press Television. For more, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Like our Facebook page at africanfreepress.com. Do join us in our discussions on various interesting topics at African Free Press Forum, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Leo Oketa.
And I am Bridget Okudili.
Do have a lovely day.